And we're back with another Raid Shadow Legends Champion Showcase video. What's going on, everybody? I'm Gribnum, and today we're going to be checking out Emic Trunkheart. I do want to also say, hopefully the audio in this video is not as bad as the Kaja Showcase. So if you are checking out my channel just to see how these champions are built, and maybe you've stumbled on that video, I apologize. I'll probably have to re-upload that Akaja video again, because there are more things that I learned about her since then as well, and more that I've learned about Krokmar as well that I want to touch on in the future. I am learning as I go, so bear with me. But if you have been watching any of my live arena videos, you'll notice that I use Emic Trunkheart almost like 100% of the time on any of my teams. He's a fantastic HP champion, support champion that they've added to the game this year. He was a fusion. They don't do many void fusions at all, ever. I mean, this may be the second or third fusion. I could be wrong. Void fusion they've done, but at least I think it's the second one that I've ever gone for. So take a look at what this guy's good at and where he can be best used. So if you notice here, I actually have him in an immortal set and what's it called? The divine speed sets as well. I'm going to go over the gear I have. What I was really aiming for was a very tanky HP build. I say tanky, but not got a whole lot of defense. He just has a whole lot of HP. I mean, 108,000 HP on Emic. That's insane. Pretty sick. His base HP helps a lot, being 23,000 HP. You don't see many champions with that much base HP unless they're a dwarf. For whatever reason, Plarium love giving the dwarfs the most HP. So let me go ahead and click on all these so you can see the stats on all of the gear I'm wearing, just so you can make sense of it all. I did want to make him fast. I wanted to make him really tanky as well. And as you see, I do have a lot of crit rate too. So I have almost 100 crit rate. I'm missing a little bit, as you saw there. I'm at 88%. That's fine. You really don't need him to be doing damage or anything like that. I just had the fortune to kind of mix both. Most people might say hybrid, but I don't really believe in that. I just built this guy as well as I could so that he can do what he's got to do and also deal some damage, because his multipliers are not bad at all. His multipliers are pretty good. I could see if you put this guy in like ignore defense and crit rate, crit damage, HP. If you did all that stuff, and maybe he doesn't stay alive too long, but he's gonna hit hard, you could probably nuke some teams with his A2. I would have to guess. I mean, you're getting some damage on that. That's 20% additional damage on the A2, and then also 20% additional damage on the A1. Well, let's go over the skills real quick. Talk about it. So he's gonna hit one person. So not really viable against a team that has Ultimate Death Knight on him. The AoE would be best viable against something like that. But you're going to be increasing the shield values of all shield values on this champion by 25%. Also increases the value of any shield buffs on all allies with the lowest HP by 25%. That's okay. That's not the best skill that he has. Plarium actually nerfed this ability. When they nerfed him, this is probably the only thing that they really touched that I can see of. And the only thing people talk about that was touched is the fact that the increased value of the shield buffs cannot exceed 10,000 HP. I think it was much higher. I think it was maybe not even capped, or it was at like 20 or 30 or something. I don't remember, because we didn't have him yet. We didn't even have the guy, and anyone who pulled him, who got lucky and pulled him from a shard before the fusion was over, they are the ones that kind of ruined it for us, because they were testing him and the shield was growing exponentially and it broke the cadaver. And so he got nerfed because of how much damage cadaver could do. But now that they fixed Cadaver, they haven't gone back and unnerfed Emic, which I think they should do. So Plarium, if you're watching, please undo the nerf on Emic, because there's no longer a reason to have it when you've already fixed Cadaver's damage. Anyway, the A2 attacks all enemies. This does a lot of damage. It can do a lot of damage. And this is a insanely good skill. It's going to place a shield, and that shield is really good. It's 30% of this champion's max HP. It's not predicated by the damage you do, which is fantastic. So 30% of the max HP that I have, 108,000 HP total, 30% of that, it's going to be like a 35 to 40,000% a shield on people based on the HP I have now. Decreases, and here's the best part, decreases the cooldown of all ally skills by 1 turn, except for Emic. So you're actually going to be cooling down some skills. Everybody knows, most people are going to know his kit by now. And then he's got an unkillable buff on him. A lot of people would say, oh, well, I could just use Roshcard, or I could just use whoever. Who's the other guy that does that? I don't know how many other people do unkillable. Maybe Santa Claus, Sir Nicholas. I can't remember if somebody has unkillable or if they have block damage sometimes. Maneater has it as well. Or yeah, Maneater has it as well. But the one thing that sets him apart from anybody else who's placing an unkillable is the fact that he's bringing a taunt buff to the field, the match here, which is insane. So he's placing the shield. He's going to put the unkillable and the taunt, the Valley of the Shield. He's also placing a shield buff as well. So he's doing shields on just about everything. And the A1 is 10,000 HP exceeded. It's such a lackluster increase that it's really not going to help much, honestly. But the shields he's placing are actually going to be very good, very strong shields. Now that brings us to the, I forgot to mention the taunt. If you don't know, taunt is like the reverse of provoke. He's automatically going to make sure that everybody can only hit him. So it's really fantastic when you mix him with a Ultimate Death Knight on the team and they hit him, but it's really hitting Ultimate Death Knight, and it's just a weird combination of fuckery that people cannot get around. Now the passive on him, when attacked while under a shield buff, has a 50% chance of increasing a skill on the attacker by 2 turns, meaning that now they're going to be almost locked out of one of their skills, or basically locked out of one of their skills, which is great. Whenever an ally's HP drops below 20%, increases the damage dealt by that ally by 20%. And this is a hard thing to really pull off. There's really not many cases where you're going to be actually taking advantage of the bonus damage. I do see when my champions get nuked all the way down to 0 HP, but they have the unkillable. And so we have 0 HP, but someone else on my team heals them, or there's a continuous heal buff out there. So as soon as they take a turn, they get healed right away anyway. So I don't really get to take much involvement in this utilization in this 20% damage. He does have a 30% HP all battles. And as you see again, mine's very fast. He's going to be hitting decently hard. The resistance, I wasn't really aiming for that, but it's there. Now let's see. I do have him in polymorph. I do want to show the masteries first before we jump into any of the dungeons that I'm going to showcase. Like I said, I went with an offensive sort of attack thing because he was already surviving so well. He can already survive so well on his own with the unkillable buff and anyone else who's a support champion on the team. So I thought, okay, I want to be able to do some damage because sometimes my 1 damage dealer is not enough, especially up in Platinum or Gold 2 Live Arena that I'm in. And him being able to attack and do some damage is such a great help. Let's go ahead and take a look here. I went just HP. You don't need any accuracy on this. Well, you do. You can use accuracy on this guy if you want that passive to land the cooldown, but I don't really see a reason to really aim for that. If it happens, it happens. But if you're going to be focusing on building your Emic with like 500, 600 accuracy, just so you can land a cooldown on a platinum player, I mean, good luck on doing anything else with the rest of his stats, right? I mean, you see what I got here. I feel like my gear is pretty almost godlike gear on him, you know, just about godlike. And I would just say you don't need to be able to land that passive. Don't focus your build around this passive. That's just my advice, you know, so you don't get caught up in thinking, well, I have to get his passive off. Don't even worry about it. Just focus on surviving and going fast and just stuff like that. Okay, a lot of HP. Got the Spirit Haste. He's going to be doing more damage when people die. Of course, I got Lore of Steel. Get that extra 3% of percentage on his stats there. The cooldown Cycle of Magic. This is just, I had no other idea what I was going to pick there. And yeah, so if you want to copy something like this, I got Helm Smasher on him, so I can ignore as much defense as I can. Go ahead and copy whatever you want to copy there. Let's talk about blessings. Okay, you can tell that I do have him in a 6-star blessing. I got extremely lucky by pulling a 6-star blessing on him. I think from like a Mortal Stone. I can't remember what it was, but it was insane. You can go sheep. A lot of people will, because a lot of people love to throw sheep on every one of their champions. You're going to be blocking out a lot of enemy teams that way. So not a bad idea. But let's see what else we can go with. I would also suggest, if you don't know if you want to go polymorph, honest to God, the inverse, like the opposite side of the spectrum, where if oh, I don't want polymorph because 2 or 3 of my other champions have polymorph already, I want to branch out into something else that's going to help me win the fight. Okay, if you're not going polymorph, I would highly suggest you go Life Harvest. You need to have at least one champion on your team, on your arena teams, that has Life Harvest. And a lot of people don't do this. A lot of people have these insanely strong teams that kills my champions, but they don't have Life Harvest. So when I come back to life, there's nothing that's keeping them, keeping my team from being weaker and weaker each time. When you have Life Harvest, you are weakening that team every time they come back. And this blessing didn't really have much use before Live Arena. Granted, now it does have use in Classic Arena as well, because people saw, but it took Live Arena for us to understand. So I would go Polymorph, Life Harvest, maybe Intimidating Presence. Honestly, you can go in Intimidating Presence. That's going to increase your aura and decrease their aura as well on the enemy team. Fantastic blessings. Also, when I picked it, I was very keen on what stats I'm going to be getting. I did have him in a Life Harvest at first with the 8,500 bonus HP, and that would be fantastic to have. But I just felt like being able to sheep would be such a better thing to have on the team. So if you have a 6-star Emic, you don't need accuracy to land the sheep. All right. Now let's go ahead and jump into, let me look at the ratings on him first. So he's got some pretty high ratings here, and you'll notice I did rate him very highly on a lot of these places. Faction Wars, Clan Boss, Hydra. I have not used him in Hydra, so I put him as a 3. I don't know how good he is personally, and we're not going to test him in Hydra today. We're going to test him in different areas, but not Hydra. So let's go ahead and jump into the first one. I'm going to show off in Arena. That's the best place to start. Everybody likes to start in Arena. We did get the reset, so these teams are going to be very easy to beat. And I'm gonna go with I guess one of the tougher teams on the list here, just to showcase him in a better spotlight. Let's go with a strong team. Now I have Wukong, but you're gonna, if you want to pay attention to how Emic fights, pay attention to him here. And I have mine again pretty fast. Slow this down. So I got the double turn on Kaja. We're up the block, the unkillable with Emic. The one thing that I do hate about my Ultimate Death Knight is it's a one-turn stone skin. Oh, 20,000 damage on the Rotos there. That's that damage I'm telling you guys to invest in for him. Can come in handy. Obviously, Rotos is very squishy, but he does have that passive. Boom. Okay, so working out here. The one-turn stone skin on Ultimate Death Knight does get me kind of screwed over by Rotos sometimes. There's like a still a good chance that they always crit. So I did hit him hard enough that he took an extra turn. Let me go ahead and speed this up now. Got the extra turn. Killed the revivers. Let's just see what Emic can do. Emic did, I guess, 19,000 damage to the shield. Insane. And if you look there, I did 282,000 damage with Wukong. I don't think I've shown Wukong off yet or his stats, so that'll be for another time. Let's go ahead and refresh this. And I'm going to go ahead and jump in on a fight like this just to show you guys. I might lose, but if I don't, then that'll be just a great win to have against Terrace and Marishka. Let's see what happens here. Emic throwing out the unkillable. Stole the buff, stole the stone skin as well. Okay. So we basically tanked that whole amount of damage. Alright, I feel bad because this guy, you can tell his champions are actually not built good at all. The Marishka's almost dead. The Terrace, his health, you can tell he doesn't have much HP. I'm not going to pretend like I'm not bullying this guy right now, because I know I am. This should be over in like 1 or 2 more Wukong hits, to be honest. But if you notice, we got Emic here. He's still alive. He's not dead. All those heals, and you notice Ultimate Death Knight, he was low on HP, but now we got the continuous heal buffs on the field. I don't even know where those came from. Oh, they came from him, actually. I don't know why I was thinking Kaja put them down, but anyway, so we pulled off the win there. He did a lot of damage with Emic. Take a look here. Emic did 115,000. So you notice he's supporting the team very well. He's such a good support champion, and he's going to be able to do a lot of damage. He's not hitting lightly. I need to let you guys know that. I need to express that as much as I can. He will not be hitting as light as you might think. Let's go ahead and jump into a third and maybe final arena fight before I jump onto something else here. And let's go ahead and I'm going to make a different team real quick. All right, so here we are. Just for the hell of it, I'm going to put Krokmar on the team, and we're going to run it with Kaja in the lead. And see from there. See if we can beat this team here. I'm pretty sure we can. There's a chance that the Mortu just doesn't really kill me at all or whatever. We'll see. So, I guess this is a bit of a showcase for Krokmar as well. So Krokmar is going to be hitting and decreasing those skills on everybody. There goes Peril on Mortu. He first hit damaged Ultimate Death Knight. Second hit got Emic. This is a good song. The banger. Alright, and we just gotta wait for the stone skin to drop on Mortu and Ultimate Death Knight. But this is the beauty of a team like this. I don't need to manual it and be cautious on who I'm hitting, because I really don't care when it comes to something like that. Because Mortu, when you build your team like tanky and they're all HP champions, there's a good chance that Mortu just can't clean right through everybody with the Peril. I'm sure he's about to do it, so we are going to see. what happens here. Oh, and he did not have peril. Okay. So we're still decreasing the stats on everybody. We took out the Necrit. That's going to open us up a little bit better, so there's no ally protect. There may be an ally protect now, and that's fine because I don't really care see if he's still alive. I'm trying to take out Mortu. And we took out Necrit again. Good stuff. So you can see they're really not doing much damage to me. I would say Mortu's just been, what's the word? He's just been kind of pushed to the side, power crept in a way. I mean, he's very powerful, and he's a HP based champion. That's very powerful in just anywhere in the game, honestly. But he has been a little power crept by everything. Mainly by the way that you have to build him. You have to build Mortu slow as shit and in a 1 or 2 turn stone skin. That's like the way that people love to build him because, you know, I guess it works. But I think he got power crept because people have been only relying on that kind of build for him. But you notice we did take off the win here, and none of our guys really went that low on HP after the first peril hit. Emic really coming in clutch with all of those unkillable buffs, all of those shield buffs that he does. Insane stuff. Krokmar did the most damage. That's awesome. So now let's move on. So I want to show off Emic here on stage 15 of Iron Twins. The final stage you can do on Iron Twins. I know doing Iron Twins during the week might be saw as oh, cringe or whatever. And I get it, you know, it's like the dumbest. Ooh, hold on. I think I took off some gear on my Geomancer. I don't know. Maybe it's because of the affinity, but we're probably not going to win this. I just want to show you just Emic doing his thing. You can use him here. Maybe when the affinity is a little better for your damage dealers, but let's see what happens. But they really should buff Iron Twins. I know this is not a new statement. This is not something unique to say, but I mean, for God's sakes, the 300 plus coins that you get when you attack Iron Twins on a Sunday, that should be the norm. In fact, the normal amount of coins that you should be able to get on a normal day or a normal run should be about 500 coins of silver. And on the weekend, it should be 1,000 coins. Because all you're getting out of these mortal stones and one day's... Here we go. So we're actually picking it up. We're probably going to end up finishing this in the next like minute or so. But a normal day's run of 6 keys, you're probably only going to get 1 mortal stone. I know it all racks up after a while, but it's just too slow of a grind for nothing. And when you finally pull that and you get a rare, it's just garbage. Though I will say I have had great luck. Oh, here we go. We pull off the win. You saw that a lot of my surviving there was because of Emic protecting and shielding there. Geomancer pulling off the most damage somehow ahead of Newt. But yeah, so 155 mortal soul coins. That is terrible. So 155 times 6, you know, you're at about 1,000 or so after all that. But it's just not worth it. Anyway, let's jump on over to, before we do Clan Boss, there's a couple more things I want to do. Phantom Shogun's Grove. Unfortunately, I do not have stage 25 open, and I don't even want to do stage 24 or 23 because I don't know why. My team just sucks. I need a couple more empowerments, or sorry, I need a couple more ascension on the blessing than I already have. But stage 19 with Emic, and I'm going to show the team real quick. I got Razzlevarg and everything. I gotta show my Razzlevarg gear and stats soon, but I'll do that in another video. So Emic, I'm gonna open up with the A1 and then go into the A3, A2. So copy this if you want to do this in any way, because I have Kymar. He's gonna be just being able to cool down things on his own. I want to make sure that Nut will go and waste his A3, and then Kymar will come back around, cool that down, and when Kymar's coming back around and cools it down, Emic does his A3. Newt can come back and do the Blessed Bash a second time, and then I go and cool it down by 1 turn with my A2. So I have it working in a way that I can do Nuts A3 twice and then cool it down by 1 turn. Sorry if that was a little confusing, but that's just how I have it working. Sometimes I get this run completed in about a minute or so if I get everything working perfectly fine. There's the first Blessed Bash. Razzlevarg gets hit. The one thing that really harms me is the fact that Razzlevarg has a triple hitting. Oh, there's the second A3. The Razzlevarg's triple hitting A1 can really rack up the Shogun's shade counter or whatever it's called. So I'm glad that with all these cooldowns and stuff that he's not doing the A1 when he's got the Enfeeble passive. So there's the Blessed Bash a third time. It didn't take many turns at all to get it off. Here we come. Razzlevarg. That. I don't think we're going to get a fourth Blessed Bash A3. I think that Razzlevarg's about to hit, and it's going to finish the fight with the Soul Reap. There it is. So Soul Reap on Razzlevarg, finishing it off, killing the boss. That's why Soul Reap is such a great blessing, especially for bosses. If it were any higher of a blessing, I would have killed the thing a little faster. 53 seconds is not bad. And I like stage 19 because I can do it efficiently and I can still get all of the superior and greater extracts as well. And it's not much of a difference if you're doing stage 25. Yeah, you'll get more of the lesser, but the greater and superior, you're really not going to be getting too many more than you already are in stage 19. Personally, that's what I like to do. All right, so if you're still with me on this journey, let's go ahead and jump into Clan Boss. I do have a key reset here on Clan Boss, and I have hit Ultra Nightmare already today. All right, and so I was saying I hit Ultra Nightmare this morning, and I'm gonna go ahead and do it again and just show you guys some gameplay of it. But here's what I did this morning on Ultra Nightmare. Don't worry about Emic's damage here. He's not gonna be doing damage on Ultra Nightmare or the Clan Boss. That's not the points. It's the buffs and cooldowns and stuff. Because if you were to bring a cooldown champion and you had Kymar by chance, because he's one of the other easier ones to get, maybe a Renegade, they do the job, of course. They're also squishy. They're not going to last long. They're not going to provide the unkillable to your team. With Emic here, I can get a little bit of a cooldown off at the same time. And you see I have Krokmar here. I've actually discovered a little bit more about Krokmar, and I'm going to show you guys that too. Keep in mind, this is not a Krokmar showcase, but I do want to show you guys what I've discovered for him. And I will show this off again in an updated video. For Krokmar, I know he's not completely booked out. I'm missing out on some potential here that I should be showing you once he's booked out. But on his A2, you're going to want to most likely disable the A2, in my opinion. And I'll show you why. The A2 is just AoE hitting for around 150 to 170,000 damage or so. While the A1, and if I can get it completely booked, This one's completely booked, and I'm hitting around 170 max, maybe. With the A1, I'm double hitting. Each hit is doing about 100,000 damage. So I'm actually doing more damage on the A1's double hit than I am on the AoE at all. So lock out the AoE, A2, and just keep the A1 open. So A3 into A1, and you're good to go. Emic here, there's really not much to need to see on this. You can figure all this part out yourself on Emic. It's not difficult. But for him, I guess I open up with the A1 because he's so fast and my team is so fast that if I were to open up with this, they're getting no benefit out of that. It's just going to be falling off of them before the boss takes a turn anyway. But let's go ahead and jump into it. I'm going to go ahead and take it a little slow. In fact, I'm also going to show you Krokmar's A2 damage a little bit too. 54,000 on Emic's A1. Krokmar doing 78, 85. We're just getting started. They're going to start ramping up the damage a little more as Krokmar, I think, as he hits more because he has the Mastery on. Well, Razovar coming in with a good amount of damage. 80,000. Okay. Right now, Emic's unkillable stuff, it's not really that useful. It's not that big a deal. It's not doing a whole lot at the moment. $373,000 on Newt. Okay, there it is. Damage is ramping up a little more on Krokmar, who's hitting about 100k on each. I'm gonna go ahead and take control here. You saw that he did 100k on each hit. Well, just about. Let's go ahead and take a look at the A3 here. And keep in mind, the A1 is not completely booked. If I get the last 10%, he'll do a little more. But let's go with the A2 AoE. 166,000 on the AoE. Again, you'll be doing more damage if you just turn that off altogether. The shield buff that he's applying, whatever it is he's doing, not even worth because he's only putting it on himself. When you have Emic, Emic's going to be putting a shield on everybody. Emic coming in with 91,000. We don't have the defense down up right now, so we're going to be losing out a little bit of damage. There it is. Let's see the damage now. 146,000 on Emic. Take a look at Krokmar. And don't even worry about the Razovar. He's just going to be just annihilating the boss here. And you saw right there, Krokmar did hit 107,000, 106,000 on his A1s. And at this point, it's just a Krokmar showcase. Okay, 160,000 damage from Emic. Some really nice stuff. We're only on turn 6. A good way to look at Clan Boss, your damage on Clan Boss, especially for an earlier game account. If you've just recently gotten to Ultimate Nightmare Clan Boss, or Ultra Nightmare Clan Boss, and you're not sure on how the boss turn count and the total damage, how to know if it looks good early on, I would say if you have double the damage as the amount of boss turns, then you're in a good spot. Okay, and as you can see, I have over that 7 boss turns, 18,000 damage. If I was at about 15,000 damage, I would still be in a good place. Personally, I would believe that, okay, I'm in a good place damage wise, and I'm on track to at least 2 key the boss here. Now, with a team like this that's not unkillable, 100% unkillable, where you're going to be one keying the boss is how long you can survive past turns 30 and turns 40 of the boss. Okay, so once we get up in turns 25 and 26, you're going to start noticing the boss will be killing the weaker champions. In fact, Razovarg, and I want to say this real quick, Razovarg has almost never survived beyond stages 25, 26, 27, just, you know, any of those stages. He's almost never survived beyond that. But with Krokmar on the team and even Emic, I am seeing him survive into the 30s, even 40s. And it's actually insane. And because of that, that's why I'm able to one key. And it's because of Krokmar's passive. I'm actually going to pause it here and come back when we're at about 20 something turns. All right. All right, and we're back a little bit further into the run here. It's actually taken quite a while for the boss to get into the 20s and up about 25 turns in. But I was noticing my damage was just, I'm just running away with the damage here on this boss, completely doubling the turn count and almost tripling it, in fact, with my damage, which is insane. With a team like this, I never would have thought, and I was using like OG champions for quite a while, like Valkyrie, Iron Brago, whoever else, like Bad Alcazar as my and Ninja too, as my old clan boss team. In fact, the only champion on the team that I need to phase out is Lydia, which I'm actually working on doing currently. So my clan boss is about to change again. I need someone who can place defense down and increase attack buff, because I want to give the increased attack buff to Razelvarg. And the only legendary in the game that I know of who places defense down and increase attack would be Ghostborn. I just discovered that, and I've got 2 of them sitting in the vault for 3 years now. So I'm pulling them out, gonna build them and replace Lydia on the team, because otherwise I got everything else locked up. The only thing I'm gonna be missing from Lydia is the strengthen buff that she's providing right there. That's it. The only thing I'm actually gonna be missing. But let's take a look here. 63,000 damage on the boss. And this is Spirit Affinity, you know, keep in mind. It's kind of an easier affinity to fight on the boss. I understand completely. As you see, Krokmar still doing 100k damage on that A1. Beautiful. And there goes Razelvarg. Turn 25. I'm actually surprised. I think the reason I didn't notice if the boss had a decrease attack buff on him at that time. If he didn't, then that's probably why we died there, unfortunately. But either way, we are going to be coming out with the win here. I actually want to take control, and hopefully if I have down on my A3, I want to show Krokmar. No, I don't have it ready yet. I'm going to show Krokmar's A2 once again for you guys if you wanted to see it, just in case. Here it goes. I'm going to go ahead and do the A2. Again, we saw that this did about 160,000 damage last time. 173,000 damage. That's actually really good. That's really nice to see. Still not going to be better than just slamming the A2, spamming the A1. You see there, it's just not better than doing that, especially when you can get that A1 booked. And you're going to be doing about 105, 110,000 damage on the A1 almost every time, fully booked. So we are over the damage limit. I actually want to, I guess, let it reach its end. So I'm gonna go ahead and wait till it gets a little further into the run, maybe like 2 more rounds. All right, not much time has passed. I'm just worried because I know Lydia is about to die, and I know that be better to show when everybody starts falling. So Razelvarg lasted to stage 25. I'm a little upset that he didn't last longer, because I assumed he would be lasting until about 30 something rounds in, but it doesn't matter because we got that damage regardless. Okay, so the boss is starting to hit a lot harder now. Unless we put Unkillable up, I think we're done for on his next turn. And let me know if this was a good showcase for Emic. I may show... oh, he put up the block Unkillable. I kind of wanted to show off the spider from Doom Tower. The black spider, the one that has the counter attack. He puts the poisons out. I was kind of wanting to show him there because I have him on my team. But I think the video is going quite long at this point. So I'm not going to show that. Also, when I mentioned that I would be swapping out Lydia for Ghostborn, my plan, I have Ghostborn in a toxic set. And I'm going to show you that real quick afterwards. It's only for him to be on the team and provide the buff and then the debuff, and toxic just so he can place poisons. Because as you noticed this whole run, I had more room for debuffs to go up on the boss. So that'll be even more damage. So if we're taking a look at the run that I did this morning, I had 122 million damage, and that was an auto-generated run. I didn't sit here through the whole thing like this. In fact, I would not suggest anybody sit here for about 15 minutes watching their team fight. So that's going to be the end of this battle here. Let's see the results. 90 million. Reservoir died pretty quickly. Rockmar did some good damage. Emic did about the same as he did the other run. Let's go ahead and show that one more time. 7.5 mil on Void Affinity. 7.2 on Spirit. But, alright. I'm going to show that Toxic set Ghostborn for you guys real fast. He's not completely leveled, and the Masteries are not done. Not even booked. I've had him for 2 years, 3 years. This is what I got going on here. He's pretty fast. He's got a little bit of HP. And if he can do damage, I got some crit rate on him. Whatever. I just want him on the team for the utility that I know he can bring. Alright, so if this was a good video, give me a thumbs up. Give me a like, please. And if there's anything that I missed that you wanted to see, let me know. And I can show that off in future champion showcases. All right. Thanks. Bye.